What's good, YouTube? It's a coercive Earth and it's Nick's Hope Savior. My bad, wrong channel. But yeah, man. My Knicks are getting blown out right now. 100-73. Boy. I tell you, when being a Knicks fan is real, it's real. But it's gonna sting. It's gonna sting, and it's more of a wake up call. I think we needed this in a bad way. Uh, like I never look at losses in a good way or in a bad, or actually I never look at losses in a bad way. Because it's stepping stones. We only gonna get better. We have to get better. We hit 500 for the first time in a long time, and then now we're just getting shut out against the Spurs, who looked lost against the Nets. Even though they put up a great fight against the Nets, they took them to overtime, and then the Nets just took off in the fourth quarter. In overtime. I guess the Spurs said, you know what, we're not getting beat by two New York teams. No. No, we're not getting beat by two teams that represent New York. We could lose to one, but we're not gonna lose to another one. So, and then obviously we get the Pistons again that we blew out the other day. So there's gonna be probably back-to-back losses because once you face a team twice, they kind of get a feeling, or they kind of get the notion and the rhythm on how you operate. Posing to a team that you face for the first time. So I do think that we're probably going to lose against the Pistons Thursday. I'll take some time off. So we'll be off tomorrow. Well, yeah, we'll be off tomorrow, and then Tuesday. Yeah, so we'll be off tomorrow, and then we face the Pistons Thursday. I think around 7. It's 75-100 still. 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. I don't know where we went wrong. In the first half we were even. In the second half we were even, and then after that, the Pacers just took off. And they never looked back. But we have to win these games. Obviously, like I said, the Spurs are pretty good, and their record is there for a reason. But who knows? Who knows? It's 102-77 with 5 minutes left to go. It sucks. It really does. But I'm looking forward to is the Nets versus the Knicks on March 15th. That match I'm highly looking forward to because I want to see how I want to see how, obviously KD is not going to be available, but it's probably Kyrie might probably have to go solo in that game. I don't know if James Harden and Kyrie are both going to play. Usually one sits out, the other sits out, or both of them play. I don't know. But, knowing Kyrie, he's probably going to duck us, because he's Kyrie Irving, and he don't have to prove nothing to anybody. So, yeah. What else, man? What else? There's really nothing else to say, we took one to the mouth today, and it's gonna hurt. But hopefully, we have time off to heal, go back, look at film, and just fix our problems, because we have a struggling Pistons team who want revenge, for their blowout, the other day. So, but But there's 4 minutes left to go. The Knicks 80 to 102. So yeah, uh, really hard, really hard. But I think this loss is probably going to help us in the long run, because if we are able to fight during adversity like this, it help us, because we've been down like this yesterday. When the Pistons was up by like 15, we came back and beat them. This time it wasn't the same. Randall got in foul trouble a lot. R.J. Barrett played pretty good throughout the whole entire game. Frank, is trying to resurrect himself. He's been putting up solid numbers. Not solid, but he's been putting in the work. Defensively. Taking charges, stealing the ball. Hitting big time shots. So it is what it is. It's 83 to 102 still. The Spurs has not scored in the last 2 or 3 minutes of this ball game. So maybe the Knicks can cut it to 10, but we'll see. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't know how we lost to the Pacers though. I think the Pacers is a team that we should have beaten. Uh, you know, but it is what it is. Um, what else? Um, yeah. So basically, we're just trying to win games. We're just trying to win games to see where we fit in the East. We are fourth. If the season were to end today, we would have been in the playoffs facing the Miami Heat, the fifth seed versus the fourth seed. If the season were to end today, but we still got a lot of games left to play. We still haven't faced the Lakers yet. We still haven't faced the Clippers yet, but that's basically down the road. So, uh, and the NBA playoffs is around the summertime too, so that's pretty cool. You don't necessarily get that too often. You know, I mean, within the next month, you got what? You got the NBA. You got the NBA playoffs. You got the NBA All Star. You got WrestleMania. You got the NFL draft. So you got a lot of events coming down the road. So yeah, uh, down the road, down the road. But this is gonna sting a little bit. I didn't expect the Knicks to play this bad. But it is what it is. It's 105 to 83. So his game is basically over. I thought the Knicks was gonna come out a comeback, but it looks like their bench is probably out there right now. Um, but yeah, man, let me know what you think about today's game. Um, I don't know. This team is just up and down. Every time they get momentum, they just they can never sustain it. Like I would like for once I would like this team to for once I would like this team to be consistent. You know, for once I would like this team to be consistent. Winning one game and then losing the next game is not consistent. You know. You're never going to beat teams like that if you're going in that direction. Like how the Nets won 6 games in a row, even though they got their winning game snapped Saturday against the Mavericks. So yeah, uh, it's 107 to 86. 3 minutes left to go. Um, so yeah, it's it's heartbreaking. It really is. You know, but you get the bad with the good. It's 109 to 86. Yeah, so basically this game is already over. Um, I'm not gonna sit here and moan and complain on how we can get better. We're better than this, We're better than this. We just have to go out there each and every night and consistently do it. Not just for one game and then lose three straight. You know, I mean, like I said again, we're going to face the Pistons team that we blew out the last a couple of days ago. So you don't think that they're gonna be out for revenge? Probably. They probably might return the favor, you know. But they're struggling right now, and they are 9 and 24 or 25. So by them winning, that's gonna mess up their odds of landing probably the number one spot or probably the number one pick, seeing on how they finish. It's kind of like the NFL draft. If you're a team that's 1 and 10, you're supposed to be losing. You can put up a fight, you can put up a great fight, but at the end of the day, you're supposed to be losing. Because if you lose, that means that you will get obviously the number one pick. You know what I'm saying? The Jets was in inches of getting that number one pick. Like what they did, they won a few games. Now they pick at number two. They could still get a quarterback. But just doing reference, so if the Pistons want that number one pick, even though if they may not get it, because that number one pick might probably go to the who is the second worst team? I'm trying to think. I know it's the Pistons. I'm trying to think. The Cavaliers, they're probably like 10 and 19 or 20 or something like that. Like I think the Pistons is like the only worst team in the NBA that have the bad record. Well, I'm not gonna say worst because they put up a fight. I don't think no team is trash, quote unquote. Because if you look at the conference, everybody's stacked up in the West. Everybody's stacked up in the East. So I think it has to do something with the 75 games. Because I'm pretty sure if they played the full 82 games, half of these teams they wouldn't even be where they at right now. Because I think that the 75 games helped them a lot. A lot of people don't peep that out. So, like, if the NBA would have played the full 82 games, I don't think the Knicks would have been where they are right now. The Knicks would have probably been 13 and 18. Like I'm just being realistic. Like if the NBA season was a full 82 game, the Knicks would have probably been 13 and 18. Not not where they are right now. So yeah, so the Spurs 100 to 11 111 to 91. So yeah, this game is in the waters unless the Knicks can, you know, make it not look that lopsided, but it is what it is. Um, so yeah, but like I said, we should bounce back. We should bounce back Thursday because like I said, the Pistons need to lose. They can't win, unless it's gonna jeopardize their chances, their percentages of landing the number one spot because how the NBA does it is way different than the NFL. The NFL is obviously the worst team with the worst record, you know, Like if you like 3-13, or if you like two, if you only won like two games, okay, they'll probably give it to you. But if you like 3-13, you'll probably pick two or twice, second. But the way the NFL, I mean, the way the NBA does it is more like winning the lottery. Your chances of scratching off that lottery ticket. They do it by percentages. Like the team with the highest percentage to land the number one spot. It was us a few years back. We went 16-65. That wasn't good enough. The last following 3 years, when we were supposed to draft Zion, but we wind up with the second pick and drafted RJ. So, the draft never favors us. Y'all remember the whole rigged envelope, the whole frozen envelope that the Knicks had that landed us Patrick Ewing? That didn't necessarily get us to the glory days. I mean, it got us to the glory days, but it didn't promise us a championship, because we built our whole team around Patrick Ewing. So, I mean, back then, centers was, basically the point guards of the NBA. Like point guards back then, they wasn't, you know, point guards of today's generation. So, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. So with 32 seconds left, the score is 116-93. I just hate when my Knicks lose, man. It pisses me off. But I have to take the good with the bad. Not a game. We're gonna have games like this. We're gonna have games where we blew out the Bucks. We're gonna have games like where we blew out the Pistons, and we're gonna have games like this where we get blown out. So it is what it is. So the final score is 119-93. So I mean, yeah, the stat sheet could kiss my ass. I don't really care about the stat sheet because I'm not really a stat type of person. I'm not really into numbers like that. Production. That's where my key is. If you're a person that gives your all every single night, that's all I ask for. I don't care how much you average in points, rebounds, assists. Because at the end of the day, you look at the stat stuffers who's done it, they never won the championships. Russell Westbrook may probably go down as one of the biggest failures in NBA history because he's just too talented as an individual, as a person to not win a championship. But we've seen the likes of a lot of great players in the 90s not win a championship. Allen Iverson, he's as gifted as Allen Iverson was, he never won a championship, but he dragged his team to the NBA Finals. I mean, like he said, man, he did it his way. I don't want to be Bird. I don't want to be Isaiah. I don't want to be Magic. I don't want to be any of those guys. When my career is over, I want to say I did it my way. I want to look in the mirror and say I did it my way, and he did. He came in, he walked out, Hall of Famer. Now, not a champion, but a Hall of Famer. And people have to understand, like, you can't have it both ways. You can have it both ways because obviously Michael Jordan is in the Hall of Fame and he does have rings. And there's people that don't have rings but probably in the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, sports is basically where you leave your mark. When it's all said and done, what do you want people to remember you by? For me, that's what sports is about. Sports is about leaving a legacy. Whether you win a championship or not, your production is going to speak for itself. And I highly believe that. Stats is good. is a good thing to talk about. But for me, production is everything. If you give 100%, if you give 110% each and every night, it's gonna show. You know, but it is what it is. We're gonna learn from this, and we're gonna move on. We do have tomorrow off, so that's a good thing, and we will be back Thursday to take on the Pistons. Like I said again, the Pistons cannot win. If they want to land that #1 spot, they got to lose. Because I think they're the only team in in the conference that have the lowest record. They have a garbage record. So if they continue to lose, their chances of landing the #1 spot is highly likable. But if they win, they're probably gonna crush their chances even further. So we'll probably get back in the winning column Thursday, and yeah, and then after that, I think after that we face the Suns Sunday. So like, comment, subscribe. It's good to be back. I know I was on my other channel, Aquarius Leviathan Prophecy. If y'all haven't, go check that out. I will leave the link to my other channel in the description box down below. I already hit 80 subscribers over there, long time. It was back and forth, man. It was back and forth, but I'll talk about that another day. So yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, and I will put the video in the description box down below so y'all can check it out. Until next time, peace.